Welcome to episode 2 of the Ozone. Today we're talking about a really special topic to introduce the toys for the season. Katie, we're going to get you to introduce that today. Over to you.
Yeah, I guess we should start with a couple trigger warnings for today's episode. We'll be talking about things of a sexual manner, sexual health, sexual pleasure. So I guess if any of this is a bit much or whatever, feel free to tune out, tune in. But let's dive right in. So let's talk about why sex and sexual health and sexual pleasure, specifically for women, which is, a space that we're so passionate about, is a really important pillar of someone's health.
Absolutely, and there's so many things to consider with that type of question. But overall is women should be able to feel pleasure, and they shouldn't have to feel embarrassed about that or shamed about that. Being able to experience pleasure, whether it's self or with a partner, is something that's an incredibly calming thing for your nervous system if you feel like you're in the right mind to begin with.
Yeah, and I think as well, when we look at the biology of it, we have an organ that is designed specifically for that purpose as well, which is just, it's so exciting. But also I think in this space, it's been such an ignored space for women for such a long time and such an unspoken and taboo space.
Stigma. Yep.
So much stigma surrounding women's pleasure and the shame of people wanting to be overtly, sexual beings and things like that. And it's such a space that is now people coming out and being like, no, I deserve to really enjoy physical contact and intimacy, be that by myself or be that with a partner as well.
Yes. Yeah. And that I love how you brought up deserve, because that feeling of worthiness is actually very important. But even possibly the step before that is we can still be curious while we're still working on the self-confidence and the self-worth. And self-pleasure can be a way to introduce that to yourself even before you introduce that with your partner.
Oh, totally. And I think one of the things that I talk a lot with Safe and Sexy, particularly with young people, is it's hard to tell someone else what you want if you don't quite know yourself.
Yes.
And so a lot of that is spending some time with some self-exploration, because you can do that with a partner, but then you've got a whole board game of coordination going on as well.
Yep.
It's really nice, and you can explore that further, but it's also really nice to be able to know what you like so that you can basically best guide and support your partner, because everyone likes different things.
Exactly. And we've got some research around that, don't we?
Yeah, it's I guess there was a big study done recently by Gelsman and investigating the gap in orgasm gaps between heterosexual couples, and actually looking at the fact that women report far less likely statistics of orgasming or high levels of pleasure in comparison to their male counterparts. And we've known this for a long time, and whilst it is improving and far less prominent in homosexual couples or in bisexual couples, it is improving, but only with the conversations that we're having to actually tell people that they don't have to be ashamed of wanting to enjoy sex and things like that, and kind of reducing a lot of the stigma is the right word for it.
Yeah, it is. It is the right word.
And
for
the shame that came around with being a woman that enjoyed sex or pleasure, basically, in that space. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the toy that we're going to be leaning in today is our first toy for this year of our curation of toys. Here's one we prepared earlier.
This one. So this is the Lay-On Vibrator by Wild Secrets. And the reason we are talking about this one today is it's a great beginner. It's a great explorer. It's a great one to kind of dip your toe in. A lot of people, obviously, there's a lot of fear factor around sex toys or around vibrators or dildos or whatever, word you're choosing to associate with them. And I think it's important to say as well that there is also a hard part of conversations with introducing toys with partners, particularly in heterosexual couples as well, because a lot of people will feel threatened or replaced or by a toy.
Absolutely.
But I think this is a really nice one to dip the toe into, because it is great for solo play, great for partnered play. Also, it doesn't have the intimidating shape, I guess, that a lot of people associate with sex toys.
I'll just say the thing, it's non-phallic.
Yeah. It's much more
it's
oblong
a cute
and
colour.
smooth. Yeah.
For palpation, it's extremely soft, which is great. As Katie mentioned, it's not an intimidating shape. And then in terms of the actual vibration frequency, it's not very intense, which is great. Like there's obviously different settings, so we turn it on now. It's an initial good low zing to begin with, but it's not a really intrusive sensation. Yeah. So in that state, it's actually really good for people who experience pelvic floor pain, and for people who are feeling a little bit unsure about self-pleasure, this can be a great introduction to what could be your extensive collection of toys.
And I think that's the thing with introducing toys as well, as a lot of people don't love the idea of using their own hand because they, you know, have a different relationship with how that feels for them and things like that. I think it goes in the name with this one. It's called a lay-on vibrator, meaning you can lay it on yourself or you can lay on it, whichever is more comfortable. And I think it's a really nice one as well to, if you're new to, you know, self-pleasure and toys as well, it's not one that you have to use directly on your genitalia as well. It's a really nice one that you can use in other parts or erogenous zones in your body, so like around your breasts or the back of your neck or things like that, because it's a nice sensation, as if, you know, being touched in those sensitive areas as well.
Yes, and I love that you brought up erogenous zones. So if you're feeling like touching your vulva or around your vulva is feeling too intimidating for you to begin with, there's obviously the obvious erogenous zones like nipples, and a lot of people know about behind the ear and the earlobes, but there's also areas like what we call your physioland, your cubital fossa, so your elbow crease, your wrist. There are spots around your ankle, so just the inside of your ankle. Some people even report the toes, even like it's an acupuncture point on the outside of your little toe.
Even like middle of hand.
Yes.
That's a lovely point as well.
So this, when you do this with your fingers, that where that crease finishes, that's a really good point there as well.
And collarbones,
yes,
like décolletage, are really nice areas. Top of shoulders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All areas that a lot of people love to be touched by their loved ones, or even it might be something different to the points that we've talked about today. Or even if you're someone that doesn't particularly love touch, this is a nice one to dive into because it's not, like we said, super intimidating as well. But it's a really nice one to explore. And again, it's also one that I guess we're talking about not being intimidating for yourself, but also for your partner. Particularly in heterosexual relationships, this is not one that people are going to feel replaced by, is one as well. So it's a really nice one to ease into using that with a partner as well, which is why
Adjunct.
Good little addition. They're a teammate, not a competitor.
Yeah, that's right. I love that. I love that framing. We also have our wonderful vulva here. So if you are going to use it around the vulva, remember, a lot of you may already be aware of the clitoral anatomy, that up the top here we've got our main clitoral hood that everyone is mostly aware of, but the clitoris actually has wings and it comes down the side. So you don't have to go straight onto the clitoral head or hood. You can start down further on the wings, so to speak, where it's a little bit less intense. And a lot of people, especially those of our patients who have a lot of pain, if you hold a toy on the top bit, on that actual clitoral head, it's very intense, or it starts to feel really good, but then it actually gets too intense. If in those moments you take it down onto the wings, it can decrease that extra stimulation, where it can, for some people, turn into a little bit of pain, especially if you've got a long history of pelvic pain. The wings can still bring pleasure, but it's not as intense. And if you're introducing your partner into using this with you, you can teach them about that anatomy and teach them to stay down here and not come straight to the clitoral head to begin with. Food for thought there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that if you are interested in purchasing something like this, we do have a discount code. So if you're interested in that, stick a comment in the notes below, and we'll probably be posting it on our website and our socials as well. But thank you, Wild Secrets, for allowing us to have these conversations with real fabulous toys.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be going through and talking about not only, you know, massive broader topics on a social level about sexual health, but diving into exactly what we were talking about today, the more like physio-based, you know, evidence-based and therapeutic-based,
Yeah.
you know, uses for these toys as well.
Yes.
But I guess we want to finish off today's episode with being, you know, very open and honest and overt, and that you know, if this is something that you want to explore, we're very happy to talk with you about it, because we believe that everyone is deserving of pleasure and of sexual health, of you know, enjoying their sex life, or exploring that space if that's something that you want to do or don't want to do. So
yeah, questions are always welcome. And yeah, fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back next month. We're going to be talking about the bullet vibrator. So again, a slightly less intimidating, I guess, toy. Very small, petite travel size, which appeals to a lot of people. But diving a little bit more into starting to look at penetrative toys as well.
Yes, yes. And how to do that, what kind of people, like symptoms that it can be helpful for. If you've got particular symptoms, we want to try and do things in a slightly different way so that we can still maximize your pleasure and not increase pain. Yeah, great.
Lovely to chat
Have
with
a great
you today.
month. Yes, you too, my hun. Bye. Bye.